Alright, so welcome back to Everdell. So for this video, we're going to go over the special event cards, and if possible, the rest of the cards that are called forest cards. Let's get started. Now, in the game, you're going to actually put 4 of these randomly, these special event cards, on the second floor, basically, of your Evertree. So there's going to be 4 of them sitting up here, but only 4, and there is a whole lot more than 4. So, obviously, you're not going to ever get to play with them all unless you've played this a couple dozen times. But what you do is you have to meet the requirements of the special event, and then you also have to place a worker on it to claim it. And then, of course, if you put a worker on it, you won't get your worker back until, obviously, either a card effect says you can take it off, or if it's preparing for the next season, or, obviously, if you do this at the end of the game, then that could also be a good time to do it too. Now, in order to meet the requirements of this one, you need 2 of each of these. So your town must have the travelers, 2 travelers, 2 of those production cards, 2 destination cards, 2 governance cards, and 2 prosperity cards in your town. If you meet those requirements and place a worker here, you're going to get 9 extra points at the end of the game. All right, for this one, if you have the chip sweep and the clock tower and place a worker here, when achieved, you'll get to bring back one of your deployed workers. So that's pretty powerful with this one. You'll actually get one of your workers that you deployed back, and you'll get to take an additional action playing it, your worker that is. That's pretty cool. And you'll get 4 points at the end of the game. The monastery and the wanderer, if you put your worker here and you meet those requirements because you have both of them, you'll get 3 points for each worker in your monastery. So that's interesting. The doctor and postal pigeon, if you have both of them, you'll get 3 extra points for each husband/wife pair in every city. So this could give you a lot of points. If you are playing with 4 people and every single person had a husband and wife pair in their city, you could get 3, 6, 9, 12 points. That's powerful. Not likely to happen, but it's possible you could get more than 3 points with it for sure. Then we have the lookout and the minor mole. If you have both of those in your town, when achieved, and you get the worker obviously there, when achieved, you may place up to 3 twigs here, and then this will be worth 2 points for each twig on this special event. That's pretty cool. The monk in the dungeon. If you manage to get both of them in your town, you'll get 3 points for each prisoner in your dungeon. Since you can have a total of 2 prisoners in the dungeon, assuming you get the ranger as well, this could be worth 6 points. If you have the historian and the ruins, and you place a worker here, when achieved, reveal 5 cards, then you may draw any or place any beneath this event. So you reveal 5, and then you can draw any or place any beneath this event, and then you'll get 1 additional point for each beneath this event. So that's pretty cool. I'm still not exactly 100% sure how that works when it means you can draw any or place any beneath this event. But I would imagine it means you could draw 5 cards from the deck and place them in this event. That's just a guess. I'm not sure on that one. But then again, I haven't got to play with it yet, so I'll worry about it when I actually play with it. Okay, then we have this one here, the shopkeeper and the post office. If you have both of them in your town, when achieved, you may give opponents up to a total of 3 resources of your choice, and then for each donation, you get 2 points. So you could get 6 points for this special event. If you ever get the Undertaker and the Barge Toad together, and this was the reason actually I wanted to get the Undertaker, because I had the Barge Toad and I was trying to get the Undertaker for this card. When achieved, you may pay 2 berries and discard 2 cards from your city. And then this is worth 6 points at the end of the game. I was just trying to get it for the points, obviously. But when you do achieve it, you do have to pay 2 berries and discard 2 cards from your city. So it does have a bit of a, I guess, it evens out, if that is what I mean. It evens out a little bit. If you ever manage to get the courthouse and the ranger in your town, And this is one of the special events that are available. When achieved, place up to 2 critters from your city beneath this event. This is worth 3 extra points for each critter beneath this event. So it's awesome in 2 ways. It's going to give you 6 points if you place 2 critters from your city beneath this event, and it makes 2 more slots available in your city. So that's awesome, right? Then if you manage to get the judge and the queen, and this is one of them, then this one will actually allow you to activate production. That is powerful. Now, I don't know if it allows you to activate every production or if it just allows you to activate one production of your choice. But I'll have to do some additional research on that for sure. I would imagine, since it says activate production, but it doesn't have any more details, I would imagine you activate all of your production, just like you would in spring or autumn. But then it's also worth 3 points at the end of the game. Then we have, if you get the woodcover and chapel in your town, when achieved, you'll draw 1 card and receive 1 resource for each point on your chapel. Huh, that's interesting. So you could get a card and a resource for every point that's on your chapel. And then this is worth 2 points for each point on your chapel as well. That's kind of interesting. You can have a few points on that chapel, from what I remember. If you have the cemetery and shepherd, you'll get 3 points for each buried worker in your cemetery. So remember, if you were to place a worker in the cemetery, they would stay in the cemetery for the rest of the game. So if you had 2 buried workers in your cemetery, you'd get 3 points. That's pretty awesome. That could be another reason why you want to do that with your cemetery. Then you have the teacher and the university. If you get both of them, when this is achieved, you may place up to 3 critters from your hand beneath this event. And then this is worth 2 points for each critter beneath this event. That's, of course, assuming you have 3 critters in your hand when you achieve this event. And place a worker to get it, that is. Now, peddler and general store, if you manage to get both of them, when achieved, you may place up to 3 resources here. And 3 resources of your choice, of course. And then for each berry and twig, this is worth a point. And then for each resin and stone, this is worth 2 points. So if you were to put a resin and a stone, you would get 2 points. And if you were to put a berry, you would get 1 point as well. So that'd be 3 points. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right. Or I don't know how you would get more than that, but that's kind of interesting. Okay. Then we have the inn and the bard. If you manage to get both of them in your town, when achieved, you may place up to 3 berries here, and then this is worth 2 points for each berry on this event. And that is it for the special events. So let's go over the rest of the cards, which are the forest cards. Now, depending on how many players are in the game, you're going to have up to 4 possible forest cards here that go into these slots, and you might have 4 of randomly 4 of these, which is obviously more than 4 cards. So let's go over the possibility. Now, this one says discard up to 3 cards and gain 1 resource for each card of your choice. So 1 resource of your choice for each card you discard. That's pretty powerful. I've actually played with this one. That one was very useful. And that means you can place a worker here. The only way you can place an extra worker on these cards here is if you're playing with 4 players. That is true for all of these. So if you want to place more than 1 worker on this card, meaning a maximum of 2, you have to be playing with 4 people. So that's something to note for the rest of these forest cards. For this one, you get 1 twig, 1 resin, and 1 berry. So that's pretty powerful. 1 of each of the 4 of the resources. This one is discard any, then draw 2 cards for every card discarded. So you're gaining more cards than you're discarding. That's powerful. I've played with that one. This one is 2 of any resource of your choice. So that could come in handy, for sure. This one is 2 cards and any 1 of a resource of your choice. This one is copy any basic location and draw 1 card. So this one is you'll get to do one of these basic locations of your choice and get the resources by placing the worker here, but you're also going to draw an additional card too. So that's pretty powerful. Then this one is 2 berries and 1 card. By placing a worker here, you'll get that. By placing a worker here, you'll get 2 resin and a twig. By placing a worker here, you'll get 3 berries. By placing a worker here, you'll draw 2 meadow cards, and you'll play 1 for a -1 resource. So that's kind of interesting. So this one says you draw 2 meadow cards, and then you get to play 1 for 1 resource less. That's pretty interesting. So this is just allowing you to play a meadow card for 1 less resource than it was originally. That's pretty cool. That could come in handy. And then the last one is 3 cards and 1 pebble if you place a worker here. And that is all of the forest cards I have. Now there might be more out there for the original Everdell expansion, but that's only if you have the collector's edition. There are other cards out there called Extra, I believe, cards. Those are only available in the collector's edition of Everdell, and I don't have the collector's edition of Everdell. So you're going to have to watch somebody else's video to see what those do, if there's anybody out there who explains all of the extra cards there is. Alright, well that's it for all of the videos for this. At some point, I am going to do a solo gameplay of Everdell at some point, because I did enjoy playing solo play of this game. So, but not today. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. And don't forget to leave a like if you liked any of these videos. Goodbye.